Hello students, welcome back. We were doing about a lesson from your course book, lesson number 6, at least a fish. Okay, we have already done a starter exercise, which is a right pet for you. Now, in order to know about which is the right pet for you, we have already done a quiz. Okay, to find out if a bird, a rabbit, a dog, a cat or a fish is the right choice for you. Is that clear? And then, what is the story about? In the story, there is a girl called Anna. She loves to have pets and she makes a wish to have a pet. And therefore, she insists her parents to have a pet. She asks her parents to buy a dog for her. But her parents want her to keep a fish and gives her a fish as a pet. Now, let's see whether Anna is happy with the fish and how she takes care of it. Is that clear? Now, let's read the story on page number 83. At least a fish, said Anna. Her mother sighed. Her father looked sad. That was not because the idea of buying a fish for his daughter made him unhappy. That was not because the idea of buying a fish for his daughter made him unhappy. Mr. Bopanna's face was like that. If he was not smiling, he looked tragic. Now, what do you mean by the word tragic here? Tragic means look very sad. So, though if he was not smiling also, he looked very sad. His cheeks sad. Sad means what? Sunk downwards. Look into this yellow box over here. Tragic means very sad. Sad means sunk downwards. Okay. His cheeks sat, his lips drooped. Drooped in the sense bent downwards because of tiredness. Okay. And his eyes looked like they were about to fill with tears. Luckily for the people around him, Mr. Bopanna rarely stooped smiling. Okay. On the other hand, Anna was really sad. She had been trying for days to get her parents to adopt a dog. Now, what do you mean by the word adopt over here? Adopt means to include somebody into your family and take care of him or her. Okay, so who wanted to adopt a dog? Anna. Okay, she had seen in the young readers section of the newspaper that there was a homeless litter of pups. Give one of these adorable pups a home and get yourself a faithful friend for life, said the ad. What was there in the ad? Now here, look at this word, adorable. What do you mean by the word adorable? Adorable means lovable. Okay, so there was a ad over there. What was written on the ad? Get yourself a faithful friend for life. Pups are a nuisance, said her mother. They are adorable. See, it says here, adorable pups, said Anna. What did Anna say? Anna said, look here. It says adorable pups. What did her mother answer? Her mother said, pups are a nuisance. Okay. But her mother refused. Mr. Bopanna was always traveling and Mrs. Bopanna had to look after the home and Anna and her very demanding job. Almost 3 days a week they ended up eating cup noodles because she didn't get home in time to let in the cook. I'm sure dogs like cup noodles, argued Anna. They are not healthy. Thank goodness. Zane's mother gives you healthy things to eat in the afternoon. Otherwise, you'd be having a very unbalanced diet. So, who refused? Her mother refused. Mr. Bopanna, he was always traveling. And what did Mrs. Bopanna do? Mrs. Bopanna had to look after the house. And Anna and her were demanding job. So, almost 3 days a week, they ended up eating cup noodles. What would they eat every weekend? They would eat cup noodles because she didn't get home in time to let in the cook. Okay. And then Who argued? Anna argued. She said that I'm sure dogs like cup noodles. They are not healthy. Thank goodness Zane's mother gives you healthy things to eat in the afternoon. Otherwise, you'd be having a very unbalanced diet. Now, what is the meaning of diet over here? Diet means the food that one eats regularly. Okay. So when Anna came back from school, she went with Zane to his house. Zane's mother looked after her until Mrs. Bopanna got home. So where did Anna go? Anna went with Zane. Where did she go? She went to Zane's house. And who looked after there? It was Zane's mother looked after her until Mrs. Bopanna came home. Now, the next page, 84 page, Anna had been waiting for her father to come back from his business trip so that she could ask him to help her talk to her mother about the pup. But all that happened was that Mr. Bopanna's smile disappeared. What happened? Whose smile disappeared? Mr. Bopanna's smile disappeared. No, he said and stopped smiling. So Anna got a fish instead of dog. So what did Anna get now? She got a fish as a pet. But what she wanted? She wanted a dog as a pet. But she got a fish. Now, a fish is very different from a dog. For one thing, it has no legs, it has a tail, which is sort of wags, but it's not quite the same. You can't tell it's smooth from the way it wags its tail. A fish can't bark, it won't lick you all over the face, and you can't cuddle it. Anna did try, but she got very wet. Because the biggest difference between a fish and a dog is that a fish lives in water. Is that clear? So, what did she get as a pet? She got a fish as a pet. Now, let's see the differences between the fish and a dog. Fish has no legs, but whereas dog has long, soft paws. Okay, and fish has no tongue, it doesn't lick. But whereas a dog has got a long tongue and it can lick. A fish wags the tail a bit, but the dog wags tail a lot. And a fish is silent and it is always wet. But whereas a dog always barks, bow, 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 loudly it barks and it is dry. So these are the differences between a fish and a dog. Anna learnt all about how to keep the fish tank clean and how many pellets of fish food to drop into the tank and how many times a day. Now, what do you mean by the word pellets? P-E-L-L-E-T-S. It means small balls. Okay. It's ridiculous, she told Zane. Now, what do you mean by ridiculous? Ridiculous means unreasonable or silly. Is that clear? So Zane looked pained. He wished Anna wouldn't always use such big words. It is, he asked, trying to guess what ridiculous might mean. Good, bad, or scary? Of course it is. I'm sure the poor things are starving. No wonder they are always opening and shutting their mouths. They want more food. Who wants more food? It's the fish. They do, asked Zane. Of course they do. Wouldn't you want more food if someone dropped a little ball of food for you just once a day? Not even a ball, a little marble of food, a little drop of food. It would starve, declared Zane. He eats lots of food, many times a day, and in spite of that, he was often hungry. See, exactly. But when I tell my mother we should give poor Socrates, say children, S-O-C-R-A-T-E-S. How do you pronounce this word? It is Socrates. Okay. Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, more food she refuses. Now what do you mean by this word? Socrates, Plato and Aristotle. These are the names of learned people living in ancient Greece. Is that clear? Why should you give Socrates, whoever, and Pluto and whoever more food? I thought it was the fish that were starving. That's what they are called, silly, the fish. This one is called Socrates, the fat one is called Plato, and the other one is called Aristotle. So she named all the fish by different names as Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. Zane peered. Now what do you mean by the word peered? Peered. Peered means look closely or carefully. Okay, so then he peered at the fish tank. The 3 goldfish looked exactly the same. So how many fishes were there in the fish tank? There were 3. What kind of fish they were? They were the goldfish. And all the 3 goldfish, they looked exactly the same. He wished again that Anna would keep things simple. If they were his fish, he would have called them Fishy 1, Fishy 2, and Fishy 3. Or maybe Goldie 1, Goldie 2, and Goldie 3. So these were the names. If it were the fish, he would call them as Fishy 1, Fishy 2, Fishy 3. And or it may also be Goldie 1, Goldie 2, and Goldie 3. Why make life difficult with names which were impossible to pronounce? But Anna was right about one thing. The 3 fish looked like they were gulping and might die of starvation. Now what do you mean by the word starvation here? Starvation means suffering or death due to lack of food. I think you should give them more food, he said. So I do. But my mother hides it, said Anna. What did Anna say? Anna said that her mother would hide the food. Give them something else then. What do fish eat? Seaweed. Seaweed means what? Seaweed is a kind of a plant that grows at the bottom of the sea. Okay? Give them seaweed, said Zane. Then he said, oh, it had just occurred to him that the sea was about 7 hours a day. I know what, give them spinach. I bet it tastes just like seaweed. They won't know the difference. They look pretty dumb anyway. Anna scowled. She didn't like anyone, even Zane, calling her fish dumb. She sometimes yelled at them because they were stupid and didn't wag their tails or bark or do anything interesting. But no one else was allowed to call them dumb. They are not dumb, she shouted. She went red in the face. Now what do you mean by the word red in the face? Means to become angry. So she went red in the face and Zane got alarmed. He hated it when Anna lost her temper. Now what do you mean by the word temper here? Temper means to become angry. Okay, see, can you see in this picture? Anna and Zane. See, there is a fish tank and there are 3 fishes. You can call them as Socrates, Aristotle, Plato, or you can also call them as Fishy 1, Fishy 2, Fishy 3, or maybe Goldie 1, Goldie 2, and Goldie 3. Isn't it beautiful, children? Yes, now let's pass on to the next page, page 87. So he quickly said, I mean dumb because they can't speak. Not stupid dumb, of course not. They look very intelligent. I think they must be geniuses. Anna took a deep breath. She recognized a peace offering when she saw it. Maybe they do not speak. Maybe they have a language of their own and only they can hear each other. Zane pushed his nose against the glass and stared at the fish. Now what do you mean by the word stared? S-T-A-R-E-D. Stared means to look at the fish for a long time. See here, look at the fish for a long time. Is it clear? They were opening and shutting their mouths. They reminded him of their bandmaster, Mr. Thomas. So who is Mr. Thomas? He is their bandmaster. A bandmaster is a person who directs a band. I think they are talking to each other. Anna came to look. What do you think they are saying? Said Zane. Zain was very good at this. He could make the strangest noises. He could whine like a dog, purr like a cat, squeak like a mouse, and caw like a crow. So these are the different kinds of noises. Okay, so Zain was good at making strange noises. He could do the whoosh of a coconut tree and the cluck of a sink, and it got unplugged. Unplugged. Now what do you mean by the word unplugged? Unplugged means removed obstacle from a clogged drain. Okay. He was always making noises and getting into trouble. So pretending to be a fish was easy. That means, where's the spinach? He explained. Anna went to the refrigerator and pulled out all the vegetables. There was no spinach. Do you think coriander will do? We have lots of coriander. Now what do you mean by the word coriander? Coriander means kothmir. Okay. Yup, said Zain, as if they'll know the difference. Anna looked at him with dagger eyes. Now look at the word over here, dagger eyes. What do we mean by the word dagger eyes? Dagger eyes means an expression in one's eyes that shows anger. Okay, who looked? Anna looked with dagger eyes. Not because they are not clever, Zain said quickly, but they have never tasted spinach, you know. So Anna and Zain chopped some coriander into little fish-sized bites and dropped them into the fish tank. They drifted downwards in slow motion. Now what do you mean by the word drifted over here? Drifted means sank, okay, to put inside the fish tank. They drifted downwards in slow motion. Only Socrates came and poked at a passing strand with his nose. Then he turned away and ignored it. So, the moment they put that coriander leaves, did the fish come up to eat? No. Okay, only Socrates, it came, it just stranded with its nose and it went away. It did not taste that coriander. So, none of the fish had eaten that coriander. Is that clear? So this is about the lesson, at least a fish. Is that clear, children? So I want you all to listen to this lesson carefully. Listen to the pronunciation of the words. Listen to the synonyms, that is the meanings. And I want you all to read this lesson at least 3 to 4 times. Next week, I'll be taking a sudden reading test. Is that clear? So listen to this video carefully and try to learn the difficult words, the synonyms and the pronunciation of the words. Okay, children? Okay, with this we complete the lesson. At least a fish, do reading and try to pick out the difficult words and learn the difficult words. Is that clear?